Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Stickers and Scuffs podcast. Cam K, Green Bun here. We are with the driver of the number 92 Bullies Truck Stop Chevrolet in the NASCAR Pinty Series for Team 3 Red EHR. It is Dexter Stacey making his debut on the podcast. Dexter, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem, guys. I've been waiting for this day for a little while now.
Yeah.
There's nothing like the first time feeling, eh?
Yeah. you're so enthused to have to talk with us, right? We were trying to get this happen a couple months ago and just things kept getting in the way. So we're finally excited to talk to you because you're having once again a fantastic season. Toronto didn't end the way that we were hoping, but you once again showed this is no fluke. I got to ask Dexter, what is it about the EHR team? What is it about this setting that seems to just work for you?
Me and Jason, we talk probably like 7 days a week, literally. We just discuss our game plan, and every week it's just working better and better for us. So,
well, one of the things that was really interesting is that you were kind of out of the series for quite a while. You ran down south, you ran several racing series. We'll get into that, but I'm curious, why did you decide to come back?
Well, after I ran Xfinity and we shut everything down and we decided to take a break because we're just going basically racing almost like Friday to not even Thursday to Sunday, almost every weekend between flying back, dirt racing, back to Xfinity, then we'd go run either a truck or something, and just got tiring and overworked up. So we decided to take a break from it. And then after 7 years now, it's like, let's go back and go have some fun again. So,
well, you definitely seem like you are having fun. You got your first podium, and we got to be there for it, and we were losing our minds. Let's talk about, man, CTMP. That was an absolutely crazy weekend. A huge storm. My good buddy, our co-host, had to pack up and go home because the storm nearly blew them to the moon. And you got your.
But we came back.
They did come back. Yes, we were.
Yeah, we sure. I remember seeing the next day. You guys are back.
Yeah, we were there.
we wouldn't miss it, and we were losing our minds, going, "I can't believe, like, what is going on here?" And then all of a sudden, it's like fourth, and then he's in third, and I'm like, "Oh my god, what's going on?" And I'm like, we're freaking out, going, "If we're this happy, how happy is he right now?" Let's talk about that, man. How did it feel to finally get that podium?
I mean, it's been a long time coming, and we finally managed to get up there and get one. I mean, a lot of it played in our favor with the caution and the lucky dog, and it was just literally everything played in place, and we were there.
So good. Like, as you said, you've run so many different series, and you came home, if you will, to the Pinty Series, and you've, as Cam said, found kind of a home and put some roots down with EHR, and you have a great program by the look of it. You're in the points hunt. You're 11th right now, but I mean, 11th is not far out of it by any means. What's it like? And again, I mean, over the last couple of years that you've been back, you've been in the conversation. You're a contender, man. How does that feel?
It's actually the best run we've ever had. I mean, last year we came home ninth. It was a short series, but we still managed to come home ninth with even, I think, 3 or 4 DNFs. So if we didn't have those DNFs, I think we could have been running top 5 in the point standing, which we're doing the same thing again. We had 3 DNFs already, and we're still 11th. So, but if you look at the points, it's so damn close. You still have a chance to get right back up there. That's
exactly it. I mean, you have the lumps that you got to take, and it seems like a lot of the teams are. It's not like anybody's immune to it right now. Something could jump up and grab anybody, which keeps everybody right at it. And as we said, you're not out of it by any means, and you keep plugging away. And maybe the results here and there don't always show it, but like when you do get the result, which is nowadays more often than not, you guys are performing very, very well.
Yeah, like I said, every week it's getting faster and faster, and I know that wins. It's coming quick. I can feel it.
We got to go all the way back to 2012 when you got your first top 5 at Barrie Speedway, and it's been a long time since in 10 years, and you're back and you're going towards the front week in and week out, but you're not alone on the racetrack. Probably the coolest story about the NASCAR Pinty Series this season is that you got the bully on the track with you. You got your dad running in the 66. How cool was it? Well, first off, how does Wallace Stacey come to the NASCAR Pinty Series?
I ended up building a new road course car, and then I found actually a very good deal on his oval car. So after he bought the oval car, and he's like, "Oh, maybe I'll just go run a few, this and that." Then after I ordered my new road course car was all built, I said, "Why don't you just run the whole series?" I said, "We're going to be going literally every race anyways. You might as well just pack the car up and go." So it took about a week or two, thought about it. I said, "Either way, you don't do it." I said, "I'm going to tell you to do it either way." So I told Hathaway get his cars ready, and then from there on in, he just jumped in, and now he's loving it.
Oh man, that's so much fun. Yeah.
It's so cool because you don't get to see that. And you know what? Like you've had brothers and family members that have raced in the series, but I think it's been, I don't know when the last time is that we've seen a father and son race together. And I'm not going to say that you're kicking his butt so far, but you're kicking his butt so far. That's got to feel pretty good too, right?
Well, it's nice because when we go to places and they're like, "Oh, who's a better driver?" He points at me right away. But then he has to throw in, he's been doing it a lot longer than I have on the asphalt. Then I just throw back, "Yeah, but all the years on dirt." I said, "And I still beat you." I said, "So how does that work?"
It's neat to have, like, we all know that the racing in general is a family, and the Pinty Series by and large is family. Like, there's lots of family connections throughout, and having the father and son thing, it's got to be neat. But I know when I do projects with my old man, we kind of bang heads. And do you guys get like where you're like, "Dad, just leave me alone," or vice versa?
It's very rare, but yeah, we get like that once in a while.
It's just a personality thing with my dad and I. It just gets us cranked up, and it's just like, dude, just yeah. So I just wanted it, like, working with family is a blessing and a curse sometimes, because you can, I working with my brother too. Like, we actually got paid, like we worked at the same place sometimes, and we were working for a contractor, and the house we were building, he stuck his head out as we were backfilling it. And he's like, "Are you guys family?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we're brothers." He's like, "Because I can tell the way you talk to each other." Did people notice that with you guys?
100%. They say I'm starting to talk like him now. And I said, "Oh man, that's not good. I got to step away for a little while."
Yeah, exactly. Just walk away and we'll come back and talk to the old man later. Because as you know, too, being a dad, you start getting more set in your ways as the younger your offspring start pushing you a little bit. So I guess that's how the old man starts digging his heels in.
Exactly. Literally hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I'm curious, Dexter, because one of the things that we know, obviously, is you've been in the NASCAR Pinty Series. You're the youngest. You were still the youngest driver ever to compete in it. I'm curious though, where did you start racing? And what was your local track?
Well, I started off in go-karting. We ran St. Hilaire, St. Roch, Michigan, all stuff like that. And then at 15, my dad decided to throw me in a big block right off the start. And I think it was rolling wheels, actually.
Wow.
So he said, "Why don't you go in there and try it?" He's like, "Just be careful." And you could tell he got the nervous dad feeling. And went out there and we did pretty good. Didn't wreck. I think he passed like 2 or 3 cars for the first time out there. And not even a week later, he says, "Good." He says, I bought you a small block, and then with 358, you'll come run with me every week." So we skipped the pro stock, we skipped the sportsman, went straight to modified, and that's how it all started there. And after that, it was a drug, and you couldn't get over
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is, because we feel like when we don't get our racing in it, we just don't feel the right way. So there's not just, and I'm curious where you are situated in Quebec. We want to learn a little bit more about kind of where your family is from.
It's a small little Indian reserve about 10 minutes from Montreal. We own gas stations. Basically, just there's two of us at one point. Derek White was from here racing with us too,
Yeah.
and then all that happened, and now he can't even go. So
Yeah, and I'm gonna ask a question, and you don't have to answer. It's totally cool. But do you have any words about Brandon White, who used to be in this series? Because
he's actually used to be my neighbor.
yeah, well, there you go.
I can
Oh, no
literally
way.
walk out my front driveway and maybe not even like 100 feet, and I could go and visit him and stuff like that. He's always good friends off the track and everything, but on tracks, nah, we never got along good at all. I'll be honest.
That's a great story right there. I love hearing that. Well, yeah, we could be neighbors, great off the track, but on the track, nope, not at all. Hate the guy.
Not at all. I wouldn't give him an inch. He wouldn't give me an inch. So if we had to bump each other, move, we would have did it.
So for a guy coming from the dirt, you've got to be looking forward to going to a weekend this year.
Yes.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I'm like pumped for that. Cars are actually supposed to come out of the garage maybe by next week to get them ready for the dirt because I'm not going to use my new one. So,
Yeah. So they are like obviously a pre-existing oval car that you have laying around or whatever, and for lack of a better term, I guess I would say.
From 2012, the original ones I drove.
Whoa!
Nice.
They're coming back out of
That's so
retirement.
cool.
Oh, I love that. If only it was a Pontiac still.
No, they changed the bodies and we went to Challenger. So
I'm sorry. If you went out running a Pontiac Grand Prix, you would be my favorite driver for life.
if I had the body,
Seriously.
I'd put it on for you. If I had the body, I'd put it on for you. They don't even make them anymore.
Yeah, I know. That's the worst thing about it, man. That would have been, oh my God.
Yeah, that thing would be in a museum.
It would be like what we
otherwise.
saw with Brandon Watson and WMI earlier this year at CTMP, where they took the Ford generic and then stuck the little Chevy emblem on the front of it.
Yeah, the love child.
No, I wish I still had it. I would have brought it out for that reason too.
Oh man.
And the fact that you guys still have that car is fantastic.
I still got the road course car too, the oval and the road course. It's an original Hathaway car.
Nice.
Jeez.
See, this is what I tell my wife too. It pays to keep stuff. You never know when you're going to need the thing.
I could have sold it like 3 times, and every time it's like, nope, I'll leave it there. No, one day I'm going to need it, and now the time's
You're
coming.
damn right.
So I don't think that this is what a lot of people are doing. They don't have cars that they can use that from back then. What is it that you think is going to be the most important thing about being on the dirt, especially for people that maybe have never done it before? There are some guys who have not run dirt before. So or is that giving away the secret?
No, I mean, it's true. And there's a lot of guys I haven't ran before. I mean, I raced with Dumoulin and Granby, and it was his first time ever touching the dirt. I don't think he was expected to be like that. So he was trying to keep it as straight as possible instead of like trying to swing it in there like most dirt drivers. So.
Well, and how did you do in that race? I think you did pretty well, right?
Against the Pinty drivers, we did well. I won the feature. So,
I mean, it's a pretty good start, right?
Not bad.
Yeah, so you're gonna race against a Cup Series driver too, because Christopher Bell is going to be there. Stuart Friesen is going to be there. Glenn Stiers obviously knows what he's doing on the dirt. So Schrader's going to be there as well.
But I think the problem with them is they don't think these cars are like the Cup cars now. Then they're not. We're literally driving old school cars that I don't even think they're going to turn half the time.
That's just as when it comes to any sort of unique race or racetrack, you always hear Adam Ross and Dave Bradley and Todd and Clinton talking about how unique these cars are. And for these guys to come up from the South, even though it might be a relatable discipline in that it's a dirt race and maybe with a stock car-esque type vehicle, these things are still unlike anything that these guys have likely ever driven. And now throw in the dirt element to it where you're likely throwing a pretty unique setup at it, I would imagine.
I mean, if you look down south, they have adjustable shocks. You can change any compression rebound you want. This, you buy an AFCO out of the box, and it's like, well, hope for the best. I hope it works.
Yeah,
So
you got what you got to an extent, right? I mean, you have kind of. I mean, I'm an amateur at best at talking this stuff, but you have kind of your baseline, like what you can go with, and your adjustability is only so much when you have parts that way, right?
Basically, I mean, you got springs, you got trailing arms, and that's much about it. I don't know if they're going to put a ride height wheel. I didn't see about that. So if they put a ride height wheel, then oh man, everybody's going to be low as the ground as could be. Probably not going to be able to get under there and lay underneath there.
Put the plows on.
I assume they're running. I assume you guys are running windshields, right? Or are they? Yeah.
They have to. I'm sure they have to. I mean, then if not, you're taking a NASCAR spec out of it. So
that's true. I was gonna say make it full custom would be real fun.
Yeah.
Are you on board with adding another dirt race if this goes well, or is one kind of being the special one good enough?
I'm a dirt driver. They can add 3 or 4 more. I'd still be happy about it.
Well, then we're going to take that aspect and switch it with something else. So say you're a dirt guy at first. So which track then to you has, because you've been really, really good on the road courses. Are you taking dirt aspects on your road course racing, or like, is it just something that seems to have worked really well this year for you?
It's just something that's been falling into place. I mean, if you drive those like a dirt car, you're good for about 10 laps and you're just going to fall like literally to the back because there'll be nothing left to it. So it's hard not to want to drive it like a dirt car, but at the same time, you still want to. So.
And that's, so like I'm not a race car driver. I try to be, I pretend to be, but I mean, I do operate and drive a lot of different things, transmissions with a lot of different gears, that sort of thing. So to speak to what you just said, you have to switch your mindset when you jump into something that has like an 8-speed versus a 10-speed versus an 18-speed or something like that to your disciplines. Like you're saying, that's what makes a racer, a good racer, that separates you from the average people, that you can identify that car, like the strengths and everything of it, I guess you'd say. Just you adapt quick adaptability.
To it,
exactly. Yeah.
So that leads me in then to Pinty Series. You're back. You started in the Pinty Series, and then you made the transition to go to the back then it was the Nationwide Series. How did that come about? And the difference between those now, obviously those cars are different now, but back then, how similar were they, even close at all?
Driving style wise, they were. I mean, besides more horsepower and top speeds, but otherwise than that, they still drove pretty good. Their braking was, oh man, phenomenal. You get in these things and you're like, oh man, I hope this thing stops at one point. So it's scary, but you get used to it. But no, driving ability and all that was the same.
Yeah. So then which of the tracks that you went to would you say, if we had the opportunity to take Pinty's cars on, which one would be the best?
Probably Bristol.
Bristol,
I like Bristol.
Yeah.
A little bit of a banking short track would be, those cars would be pretty good there.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'd have, I mean, there's always possibilities. We know Pinty's does the dirt race down there. So, hey, maybe we just get some deal done. And
Jesus,
can you imagine? They went to you guys, I think you went to New Hampshire, right?
I was there.
Yeah. So, I mean, this would be a bigger step up, but man.
Oh man, keep them wound up on that banking.
Woo. So I said, it did go really well, actually.
Oh, friggin' right they would.
I mean, we don't need you know what the best thing about it? We don't need dirt on Bristol to make it a good show with these.
No,
you know, even if you just left it the old asphalt track, it'd be one hell of a show to go actually watch and do.
So yeah, that's the one thing that we hear a lot about from drivers, Dexter, is that these cars are fun. They're fun to drive. And for you, I guess I would assume that because you've done ARCA, you did trucks, you've done dirt, you've done kind of everything. One thing that I want to ask you about is GP3R weekend, because we're going for the first time. We're going to make the road trip, and I'm really hoping that we get to see you in those modified on the road on asphalt.
Yeah.
You were in that race last year, and holy cow, were you flying through that? You didn't, I mean, Big Mac was okay. Big Mac, I think, bended in the first corner, if I'm not mistaken. But how fun is it to drive a modified through the streets in Trois Rivières?
Probably like literally the most fun I've had, actually.
Yeah.
Because at
Yeah.
one point the left wheel's off the ground, and the next point the right front's off the ground. Like it was literally like a seesaw. You're just back and forth the whole time. So, and
So
the
what we're
braking on
saying-
that is even smaller compared to what you run on the Pinty. So
what we're saying is that we got to cut the Pinty's cars and just have all the Pinty's guys run those, eh?
oh, I guarantee you they'll have a blast. They'd have a blast.
Yeah.
They'd jump ship in a heartbeat and drive those.
Oh my
Oh,
God. I
man.
can't wait to see all like that whole event, just turning a whole town into a racetrack. Like I tried to do that in my own town, but the law enforcement doesn't like that sort of thing. But that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I still,
man, I
I
can't
still
wait
work
to
on my
see-
cars here. I test drive them and run down the highway real quick with them just to make sure no leaks or nothing. And as I
Nice.
drive back, you can see the cop car lights on, and they follow me. Oh, that's the last time you did that. Yeah. And they leave, and 2 seconds later, I pull out the next one, and I go again. And
Awesome.
Oh man, we could talk for hours because you've got stories galore. You're having one hell of a season, Dexter. It's you know what, we've been big supporters of you ever since you came. You were in the series such a long time ago. I'm not going to say that I was a kid, because I can't. I'm actually older than you, which I didn't realize. You're like a veteran. You've been around in the series for so long. It makes it seem like you've been here for so much longer, but
You kids with your beard game. Look at me.
I know. That's what I'm
I'm
saying.
like
I'm
maxed
like,
out right now. Look at this. This is
Well-
terrible.
I'll tell you the funny thing about it, Graydon, was that when he came back, I didn't know it was Dexter Stacey, because the Dexter Stacey I remembered had glasses and had no facial hair at all. And then all of a sudden he's got this beard. I'm like, look at this guy. Look at
Yep.
this guy. I've said it before. I did the fictional car with Dollar Shave Club on it. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't use that, because he needs beard oil or some sort of great like beard sponsor. Like that's the way to go. If we can see, if Dexter, if you grow that, I swear, if you do like a ZZ Top and just grow it as long as possible. Oh man. Can you
I have
imagine?
to have
the
somebody
press-
grow it with me because they're brothers or best friends. So somebody's gonna have to grow it with me.
Oh man, but like I said, we can talk for hours, man. Obviously, we always give an opportunity to thank people. So I want you to have the opportunity here to thank your sponsors and thank whoever you can for making it, from you being able to make it to the racetrack each and every week.
I got E Hates R to thank. I got K Fiber, which of course I'm using their internet now. It's unbelievable fast. So
Really
I got
is.
Yale that just came on board. Bully's Truck Stop, my mom, my dad, my girlfriend, just everybody that's part of it. It's been one hell of a year so far. We're just going to continue it.
We absolutely love it. One of the things about this grade, and I'm going to get to in 1 second, because one thing we have to make sure we mention is that Dexter Stacey was the first Pinty's driver. I think it was the first Pinty's driver. It may have been tied with Larry to say, give me your decal, I'll run on my car.
Yeah.
And honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for not only doing that, but sticking it on your dad's car as well this year. It's so cool to see it out.
We need
there.
like
We
two
really
more so I can
appreciate
put them on both sides. That way, whatever track we go to, you always see it. So
it.
don't
Oh,
forget to
thank
bring
you
two
so
more when I
much.
see you.
Yeah, for sure. We'll definitely have to do that. And Graydon, what do you have to say to our friend Dexter Stacey?
Well, speaking to your sponsor statement there, we've spoken to drivers far and wide across Canada and the US, and that internet you got there with K Fiber is obviously pretty solid, because there hasn't been one glitch. So
One.
yeah, we usually have our fair share of those little freezes and head cramps and everything on the internet, but yeah, well done. From my boys, it's baseball season, so things are a little hectic right now, but Riley, as always, loves his his paint schemes and loves his purple cars. So he's loving the 92 and 66 this year. Look great. And Owen, our numbers guy, I don't have any like mind-boggling stats to quote from him because I can't remember him, but he's watching, man, and we know that you're having a great season so far, and you're building on the roots that you've put down at EHR, and we're always pulling for you, bud.
That's good. I need all that.
We want to thank Dexter Stacey
for
coming on board the Stickers and Scuffs podcast. We'll catch you all next week.